Hello everyone, this video is a response to the Amazing Atheist video called Long Video Sunday 4. Okay, and I guess I had not been planning to make another vegan video for a while because I needed a bit of a break from it. And I after seeing the previous video the Amazing Atheist made about vegetarianism, I wasn't going to respond, but my partner convinced me to respond to this video. So that's what I'm doing. Now I've got a lot to cover, so I'm going to have to refer to notes. The one thing I want to address first is, TJ, you ask, why is no one willing to engage in debate with you on these issues? And as for that person who was saying, you fucked with the wrong people, you know, kind of bullshit. I have no idea what's wrong with that person. Please don't take them to represent all vegetarians. Well, the reason, I can only speak for myself, and the reason I didn't respond to your vegetarianism sucks video was because basically anyone with eyes and ears can tell that you are a very intelligent, very astute person. And I assumed, basically, you know, you're perfectly capable of research, perfectly capable of forming a logical opinion on these issues, and I figured that if you hadn't, and you were talking about these things, so you're obviously interested in talking about them, the reason that you hadn't was probably because you desired to remain ignorant on these issues. I mean, that's just what I thought. That's why I didn't engage in debate with you before. So, I'm a bit nervous about making this video because I know you have a large fan base and I'm not looking forward to all of the bullshit comments that I'm going to get from ignoramuses. So, I'll just get on with it. Okay, so you start off and you're talking about your uncle who's a vegetarian, a fish-eating vegetarian. And you sort of say, oh, you know, I don't know if it's in this video or in your other Vegetarianism Sucks video where you're saying that if someone says you can't be vegetarian and eat fish, it's like a no true Scotsman sort of it's like a no true Scotsman challenge, I guess. And you call him a Skeletor, and you stereotype vegetarians as emaciated, pallid, and sallow. Now, I really don't think that the no true Scotsman thing applies, because vegetarian or vegan is not something that you can just self-identify with and not follow through with action. It describes behaviour. So it's like, I'm vegan, right? If I start drinking milk and continue to identify as vegan, it's just bullshit. And it would be right for people to challenge me on that and call me a dickhead. You know, what I like to say on this is, you can stick feathers up your ass, but it doesn't make you a chicken. Okay, so then you go on to say, yeah, so basically this person that you're using as an example for vegetarianism, I mean, for one thing, it doesn't count to just use one person, pick one person out and say vegetarianism is bullshit because this person is obviously not well nourished. That's bollocks anyway. But the person you're describing eats flesh, so it doesn't really count at all. So, I've no idea if I'm going to get through this in 10 minutes. It's going to be really hard. Then you go on to say conditions in animal cruelty videos are not typical. And I probably agree. Probably not all of the conditions depicted are typical. There are instances where profound cruelty has been found in animal agriculture. But there are some kinds of cruelty that are just systematic and very common. So I'll just pick out a couple because I'm not going to have time to go through all of them. One of them is that baby pigs are castrated and have their teeth cut without anaesthetic. Often they also have their ears cropped and their tails cut off without anaesthetic too. And the reason this is done is because they're forced to live in very cramped unstimulating environments, and this leads to violence between the pigs, where otherwise they would just chew each other's tails and ears off. And the castration, I believe, is done for meat quality, because if the male pigs go through puberty, their entire sort of physique changes. Sows, female pigs, mother pigs, are very often confined in tiny stalls on hard ground that allow no comfort. They can't even sort of turn around to scratch themselves, or when they give birth, they can't turn around to attend to their babies during the birth. It also prevents them from natural behaviours. Pigs make nests before they give birth, and you can sometimes observe the sows like doing stereotypic behaviours, which is like when an animal performs a behaviour without the required environment, so they will like pretend to make a nest to comfort themselves. Yes, so another thing, and this is about pigs too, pigs have extremely attuned olfactory senses, like sense of smell. So that's why they're used to find truffles underground. And in factory farming conditions, they're forced to live 24 hours a day in their own, and all the other pigs, piss and shit, which you can only logically assume would be distressing. Yes, so that's a couple of examples. I mean, I could go on for ages with that, with things that are just systematic and normal within factory farming that cause suffering. Then you go on to say animals in nature suffer. And yeah, of course they do. They starve to death, they're killed by predatory animals, all that kind of stuff. But also in nature, they're able to act in accordance with their instincts and fulfill their natural desires while they're alive. So just for instance, most chickens bred for eggs, so like in a battery situation, or those bred for meat in a factory farming situation, live in such cramped and dirty conditions. They're never able to stretch their wings. They can't fly because either the muscles aren't developed, or also their wings might be clipped. So chickens do fly, and we deny them of that. So just for a note, some people don't know that. So they live in such cramped and dirty conditions, they can never stretch their wings or take a dust bath. And that would be kind of like the human equivalent of being forced to live shoulder to shoulder with other people all the time, and never being able to take a shower. And then you go on to say that animals bred for meat live longer. Now, I'm not sure where you get the statistics from, and you admit that you even think it's possible that these statistics are not true. But here's some information I know about that. Factory farm meat chickens are only allowed to live to be about 7 weeks old. They're bred so that they can grow to full size within 7 weeks. This causes a lot of skeletal malformations and weak bones and stuff. So they actually can't live any longer. And some people who've rescued these kinds of chickens, or same with the turkeys as well, have found that their bones just shatter for no real reason later on if they let them live longer. Egg-laying hens and milk cows are killed as soon as their yield is reduced. The hens, I'm not sure how long they live. I think it was an average of 3 years. And for the milk cows, it was about 6. And when they go through the stage where they're... because eggs and milk are reproductive foods, and animals, as they get older, reduce their yield just like humans would, and it's no longer profitable to keep them alive. Oh no, I'm going to have to make a second video. I knew I wouldn't get through all this in 10 minutes. Okay,